To begin using the Lumens document camera, turn it on with the red button in the top right. Once it comes on, the light should begin to flash blue, and you will see the Lumens logo come up on your projector. After a couple seconds, it will begin to focus on the desk or your document sitting in front of you. If you see the blur, it should autofocus. If not, your autofocus button is up here on top of the camera head. Press either side of that and the camera will autofocus. Let's take a look at some of the features on the Lumens camera. The first thing we can do is turn on a lamp if we need extra light. And that lamp is the yellow button in the bottom left on the body of the document camera. So go ahead, press that, and your light will turn on and off. Another thing we can do on the Lumens document camera is we can freeze whatever image is on screen. So for example, if I wanted to leave this document on the screen and I want to freeze it, the blue button in the very center is a freeze button. By doing so, you'll notice the freeze icon come on right up here. And then if I were to remove this sheet of paper from the document camera, it stays right here. So that way I can take this document around, whatever that document may be, show the students up close while still maintaining this on screen. To return back to showing the document live, hit the button again and it will now show the document live. Another feature that we have on the document camera is something called Auto Tune. Now, Auto Tune is designed to check white balance, focus, and a couple other things. So if you press the Auto Tune button, which is green and on the bottom right, you'll notice that Auto comes up on screen as your document camera starts to check things like lighting, focus, etc. Once it's determined that it's correct, you'll be good to go. The Lumens document camera also comes with this remote. With this remote, you're able to move around the classroom while still maintaining some control over your document camera. So let's take a look at what's on the Lumens remote. It's going to be very similar to what we have on the actual body. You can power on and off the document camera here. You can use Auto Tune right here. You can adjust your lamp settings right here and your freeze setting right here. On the remote control, you have the option to change the rotation of the camera with the rotation button, or the rotate button, excuse me. And that is the aqua blue colored button down here on the right hand side. So if we click on that, you'll see a couple options come up on screen. 180 degrees, flip, which is a vertical flip, and then mirror, which is a horizontal mirroring. And so you can use this to adjust whatever is appropriate for your camera. For example, at 0 degrees, I can take my camera and point it out at my audience or my students if I was recording them or showing them on screen. The only problem is, you'll notice on here everything's upside down. Our rotate button will fix that by doing a 180 degree flip, and now we can see everything that we would need to see with this being right side up. Upon returning back down here to our document position, we'll want to hit rotate a couple more times, return it back to 0 degrees, and that should be appropriate for showing documents. Your Lumens document camera also has the ability to zoom in and out, and that can be done on the remote or on the body of the document camera. So on the body of the document camera, that top button where it says zoom in, or zoom plus, excuse me, can be pushed and you'll zoom in. On the body of the document camera, you have a chance to use the capture button. Now, capture is going to take a picture of whatever is live on screen right now. So let's go ahead and pull this little tag out. We'll take a picture of it. So capture, right here on the left-hand side is the white arrow button. Take a picture, and you'll notice the camera icon flashed on screen real quick. And now, if we want to see that picture that was taken on the other side, on the right-hand side, click on playback. And you'll notice all the pictures that we've taken now show up across the screen, with the most recent one being last. So if we want to go back and see this image right here, if we were to remove our pictures, we want to see that one, click enter on the blue button, and now we can see that image right there. You also have the option to do something called picture-in-picture. If you already have images taken and you want to show both the image that was taken and the live feed at the same time, click the picture-in-picture button. That is going to be on your remote here in the lower left. So click picture-in-picture, and you'll notice now that the video of my hand is down there at the bottom center of the screen, but my most recent picture is still listed up here. And we can also change where this picture-in-picture goes by using our arrow keys now. So if I want my video right here to move over, I'll click on that arrow and move it over to one side while still maintaining my other picture up here. To exit that, go ahead, hit picture-in-picture one more time, and you go back to the image. And then to get out of that, normally what I do is hit menu, and it returns me to the actual live video that you would see here. If you take a look at the remote, you have an option for pan, and that is down here at the bottom. It's a yellow button, and if we click on pan, you'll notice this little zoom in right here. It shows that we're zoomed in on one portion of the screen. Now this is not an optical zoom, this is a digital zoom. It means that we're losing the quality as we zoom in on this, but it can be good for showing just one portion of the screen. So if I am at the back of the classroom, I need to show a different spot on maybe a page of a book or something of that nature, and I click on the pan button, this comes up, and now I can move where I'm looking, and you'll notice that I'm moving across this document now. And so that gives me a little bit more mobility when I need to move around the classroom, but still show something on a different part of the screen. You also have a mask feature on the remote. So let's take a look at the remote. On that left-hand side of the remote, where it says mask, it's one of the yellow buttons on almost middle of it. If you click on it, you'll have an option of a mask or a spotlight. I'm going to click on mask one more time and then hit enter for a regular mask. And now notice part of my image has become blacked out. You have options to change that. I'll show you in a second. But basically what we can do is use now our arrow keys to move the mask down to block the bottom portion, and now we're going to show the top. And that way, if you're showing something but you want to only hide or only show part of the image and hide the rest of it, you can use the mask to do so. The other option being moving your camera head. Sometimes one works better than the other. It is your call on when you're going to use what. To exit the mask, click on mask again. Now let me show you the options that we have with a mask. So I'm going to click on mask and enter for a regular mask, and then click menu while I'm in the mask mode. So I click on that, and now this screen shows up of different options. So transparency can be set to 0, 1, which it makes it a little bit opaque, you can see through it, 2, more so, and then 3, even more so. You can change the step of how you're going to move across the screen from small, medium, large steps, and I'm using my arrow keys just to move my way through this. I can change the vertical size of the mask. So you notice that mask could have covered the entire image. I can also shrink the vertical size. I'm going to bring it down to about, let's see if we can get it to go a little bit faster here. So now it's going to take up probably about a quarter of the screen, and I can even change my horizontal size by moving down one and then hitting that left arrow key and changing the size of the horizontal mask. And then I'm going to go back up here, change my transparency back to 0 so I can't see anything through that mask, and then come down here and hit enter to exit. And now you'll see that my mask is smaller, does not take up the entire area, and that way I can do things such as hide a portion of the screen. Maybe if you're showing a test that a student took and you don't want to give away the name of the student, but you want to show an answer they gave, this is one way to hide the name on the test. And it can be used for a variety of other things. Like I said, it's up to you how you use it, but it is here for your use. Let's take a quick look at the other mask mode, and that was Spotlight, and it's going to do an opposite mask. So now everything else is dark and just one area is highlighted. So it's a different kind of mask, an inverted mask if you will. And what we can do with that is the same thing with the menu options. Clicking on that, we can move to the top, that top option where it says shape, and change it from ellipse to rectangle to ellipse to rectangle, back and forth. Transparency can be 2, 3, 0, 1. Normally, what I like to do is put it about 0. Medium steps, small steps, large steps, and then the actual size, vertical and horizontal, of the mask itself. Once I hit enter, now you'll notice that we've shrunk our screen, and I can go look at different portions of that document while hiding the rest of it. When there are no options available on screen and we're just in the regular basic video mode like you see here, you have the option to change the brightness with these two arrows in the center, the two white arrows in the center of your remote. So if I need my screen to be a little bit brighter, click and hold on that, and you'll notice that the brightness increases, or I can decrease brightness by hitting the other button, and you'll notice that the screen brightness drops. One option that I love about the Lumens document camera is the ability to record, not just take a picture, but to actually record what you're saying. You'll notice here on the front that there's a microphone that'll pick up your audio, and then you'll notice here on the side, if you're looking straight at it on that left hand side, there's a little USB port. So what we're going to do is take this flash drive and plug it in here. At this point, it begins to recognize that there's a flash drive, and what we can do is on the remote click on this record button. It's right down here at the bottom in the very center. It's the white button. And so when I click on that, you'll notice the video icon that comes up right here, and then there's a counter down here in this right corner. So it is recording everything that's happening on screen right now. So it's got my hand right here, it's picking up my audio right here with the microphone, so everything that happens will be recorded. Once we are done recording, let's go ahead and click on the record button one more time. Everything goes away, and now that is saved here on this flash drive. Once it's saved, you have the option of loading that video file online for your students to see, so you can give a brief lecture, brief demonstration, anything you want to record and have your voice and your hands and what you're working on showing to the students. And that actually will lead you to possibilities such as a flipped classroom, where the lecture happens at home and the homework happens in the classroom, which is shown to help some students in their studies because they respond better to watching a video of the teacher at home while having the teacher actually next to them so that they can ask questions to the teacher for their homework problems. To begin using the Lumens document camera, turn it on with the red button in the top right. Once it comes on, the light should begin to flash blue, and you will see the Lumens logo come up on your projector. After a couple seconds, it will begin to focus on the desk or your document sitting in front of you. If you see the blur, it should autofocus. If not, your autofocus button is up here on top of the camera head. Press either side of that and the camera will autofocus. Let's take a look at some of the features on the Lumens camera. The first thing we can do is turn on a lamp if we need extra light. And that lamp is the yellow button in the bottom left on the body of the document camera. So go ahead, press that, and your light will turn on and off. Another thing we can do on the Lumens document camera is we can freeze whatever image is on screen. So for example, if I wanted to leave this document on the screen and I